Today we are going to use jump rings and the stretchy O-rings to make some cool bracelets. And Antelope Beads has like 16 different colors of these O-rings and a bunch of different sizes. And then the jump rings, of course, come in not only silver, but gold, antique brass, antique copper, black, gunmetal, so on. So you can really make everything from really fun and funky to some pretty elegant stuff. If you have teens or tweens in your house, I'm telling you, they're gonna love this project. All right, so let's get started. Here we go. All right. So I've got 4 different patterns that I want to show you today. And the first one, we're sort of going from the simplest to the more difficult. The first one uses a technique that we used before when we did the lacy weave bracelets with the weaving in and out of the jump rings. And this one uses a really basic technique called we'll call it the flower weave. Really simple. So I'm going to start, and these are 10 millimeter jump rings, and I'm going to start by just putting one ring inside of the other. Pretty basic. Okay, and I'm going to actually make sure that first ring is completely closed. There's 2 reasons. Obviously, we don't want our piece to fall apart. But if the ring is partly open or not exactly perfectly closed, it's just not going to look very good. So there I've got 2 rings together. And then I'm just going to take a 3rd ring, open it up, and put it inside both of the other 2 beads. Hello, Pammy. All right. Okay, so here we go. So we have this little flower component here. And now all I'm going to do is, and you can see that I've kind of got this bracelet started, I'm going to use a 6 millimeter jump ring. And I like the stretchy bracelets. I want them to be kind of as condensed as I can possibly get them, because I just think they don't look sloppy. They don't like flop around. So I'm using the smallest, kind of the smallest jump ring I can. So I've got a 6 millimeter jump ring, gonna open it up, gonna put this little flower component right in it, and then I'm gonna take, and this is a 10 millimeter jump ring, O-ring in grass green, and I'm going to just close that ring. And it just, like I said, it's a pretty tight fit, but there we go. Okay, and then to continue this bracelet, I can just add this little piece I just made onto the piece I've already got going. This one goes really fast. So here's my flower component on the bracelet. Get it in there, and there's the O-ring with that other flower component attached. Okay, and I'm going to just take that and close it. Okay, by the way, the pliers that Antelope Beads carries, these are really, really nice pliers. These are, they grip well, they have nice finishes, they got good spring back, nice to hold on to. When you're doing chainmail, it's really nice to have good pliers. It really makes a difference. Okay, so I've got this attached, and this is probably just about long enough, so I'm going to just close it up. So what I'll do is just take another 6 millimeter jump ring. I need to, obviously, to link these together, I'm going to need another green ring. So there's my 6 millimeter jump ring inside of the flower component. Going to get that ring in there and close it, and then all I'm going to do is come around here and link these 2 pieces together. The only thing you got to watch for here is just don't let your piece flop. Don't let it get twisted like this. Make sure you just keep it nice and straight. So last one here. Okay, 6 millimeter jump ring, flower component. Make sure that I am not twisted. I'm going to come right up, link this together, and I have got a bracelet. I may have a bracelet here. Okay, and again, because I've decided I really want this weave to be pretty tight, there's not a whole bunch of extra room, inside of the jump ring. There we go. All right, and there it is. There it is, really cute bracelet. And you can do a really delicate version of this with 6mm jump rings and maybe some smaller O-rings. You know, you just got lots of possibilities. So there's number one. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. Number two here is just a sort of a basic flat Japanese weave. And I've got the 7.25mm rings and also some 10mm rings in purple here. And what I'm going to do is build these little diamond components and then link them together. And you notice that I have added, instead of just one ring, I've added 3 rings in here. And that's just really to add it, make it look a little bit more decorative. Okay, so the first thing I'll do, I've got some 4mm jump rings and 6mm jump rings, is I'm going to build one of these little diamond components here. And I do that simply by making a chain. So I've got a 4mm jump ring here, trying to find the opening. There we go. Open it to the side. And I'm going to start by adding 2 rubber rings. Okay, close it. Come on. There we go. Okay. And here's another one. Okay. Hang on just a second. There we go. Another jump ring. Add it to the first one. So I'm just building a little chain here. Sorry, I keep going off screen. Okay. There's 3. And this thing is, you know, again, I've got the jump rings as small as I can get them, so it looks like it's really kind of wrinkly to start with. Here's 4. Add the jump ring. Here we go. Okay, so now I've got this little chain, and then I'm just going to use another jump ring to link this whole little thing together. I can actually just kind of fold it over to get started here. There we go. Okay. Come on. Like anything, it takes just a little bit of practice, but this is really, really an easy project for beginners. Okay, so now I've got this thing that looks like a little ball of stuff here, and I'm going to just take it and pull it, stretch it. Do I have this thing twisted? No, I don't think I do. There we go. And now it's nice and looks like a diamond. There we go. So then all I'm going to do is use 6mm jump rings, and I'm going to do 3 of them to add one of these diamond components here. Okay. Here we go. There's 1. Here's 2. Right next to each other. Sometimes it's easy to run the jump ring, one jump ring through another, but in this case we don't want to do that. And 3. There we go. Okay. And so I just continue to build this bracelet till it's long enough. And again, then I will just attach it by adding 3 jump rings right here. So, okay, so that's that one. The third one is actually a really elegant piece. And this is, I think the name of the weave this one is based on, it's called a helm weave. And so what I've got here are some 12mm O-rings, 15mm jump rings, and 8mm jump rings. So to build this thing, I'm going to start, if I was going to start right at the beginning, I'd start with 4 of the 12mm jump rings, and I'm going to put them all in one 8mm ring. Close it up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put 3 more. 2 more rings. So there's a total of 3. And again, that's not necessary from a structural standpoint. It just adds a little extra decorative touch. Okay, and I'm going to talk about how to use different sizes of jump rings to make this project, because this is in black and silver, or black and antique silver. This is a great bracelet for men, especially if you're using the larger rings. Just really nice. So there's that. Okay, so I've got that little piece started. There we go. So in order to get these little rings on the inside, I'm going to have to go ahead and add 2 more rings. So I'll do that here. Okay, here's number 1. Make sure I get both of those in there. And I'll show you why I'm adding two rings instead of just 1 here in just a second. Okay, and 2. Definitely want to get these in ahead of time. Don't take any shortcuts and think you can go back and add the extra ones in, and 3. Okay, there are, by the way, something like 700 documented chainmail weaves out there. There's bunches of books, just regular chainmail with the rubber rings, with glass rings. So there, I've got that. Now I'm going to add the inside part here. So I'm going to take a 15 millimeter jump ring. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to kind of just flop these 2 rings over to the side like that. So this is what I've got. And what I'll do is I'm going to run this 15 millimeter ring right between the 2 sets of jump rings. And I just want to show you from the side what this is going to look like. So it looks like this from the side. Come circle up here and look at that. When I fold those 2 rings back, I've got this nice little circle component here. And the reason why I like to do this one, if I was going to continue to build on this, I'd add 2 more jump rings and then flop it, and then, add 2 more jump rings and sort of flop it over. It's just a lot easier to do that than it is to try to do it when the piece is linked in on both sides. You can do it, but it's just a little bit more difficult. So again, I take this piece, use 3 more 8 millimeter jump rings to attach it, and when I get to the end, I just do the same thing. I'm going to use 2 8 millimeter jump rings to attach this bracelet. Really, really nice design. And so the key when you're picking your sizes of rings is the outside ring has to go around. It has to go around the inside rings. So don't, and in this case, the 15 millimeter jump rings were maybe just a tad big because they're kind of overlapping a little bit, but I kind of like that look. So I'm good with this. And, again, great project. Okay, last one is kind of interesting. It looks like a caterpillar. This is fun. And it can be this piece, if you use smaller rings, the 4 millimeter rings and the smaller O-rings, it can be very elegant. This one is just kind of funky colors. So to do this one, I'm going to kind of build it in 2 parts. So if I'm starting with this, I'm going to start by just making this kind of chain that goes down the middle like this. I think this is teal. I'm using only 6 millimeter jump rings for this project. There we go. So and I'm just using single rings. Again, I could use multiples of rings in here down the middle too. Yes, Helm is definitely as stretchy as the other bracelets. It is stretchy. Yes. Okay. They're all stretchy. They're just, we've got lots of rings in here. They can be stretchy even if you don't, continually alternate stretchy with non-stretchy. So, okay, here we go. So I've got the 6 millimeter jump ring. Open it up, okay? And why am I using 2 rings here for this center section? And it's just because it makes it a little less floppy. And, again, chainmail can just, if you use rings that are too big, it just looks floppy. It doesn't look good. Really, if you kind of, I'll say suck it up and try to use the smaller jump rings, your end result is going to be better. So there's that one. So I've got 2 12s and a 7.25, and then I'll go ahead and add a couple more 12s here, open up that jump ring. And so I would build this piece, pretty much as long as I wanted. I can do that right off the bat, okay? And then I am going to add the green rings. Whoopsie daisy, there we go. Green rings to the outside. And I'll do that by taking, and these again are 7.25. I'll just make a little chain of 3 green rings. So I'll start by open jump ring, 2 rings, close it, and then I'll open another jump ring. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so I've got this little chain here through just 3 rings. Okay, and now I'm just going to attach it to the side. Okay, so I'll start here by maybe attaching it to this center ring right here. So again, I've got a open 6mm jump ring. Going to add the end of my little green guy here. Got that attached. Okay, that's what I have so far. And then I'm just going to kind of work my way around here. Okay. And going to get that middle one attached to the center rings. And then I'll get this one attached. And one of the reasons why for this project I'm working with some of the bigger rings is when you're starting out with this, it's just a little easier to work with the bigger rings. So got that attached. So this is what I have right now. I've got my little piece around the edge. And then to sort of attach this to the piece I already have, I will just link this blue ring to the 2 rings that on the big side here. So there we go. And then I will need to take one more 6mm jump ring and attach, whoopsie daisy, okay, attach these 2 rings right here. So I will open up the jump ring, okay, and whoops, get those 2 attached and close it. There we go. Okay, so and then I would just continue to work around the other side. Now and of course the key with this one is wherever I end here, I have to make sure that the green rings, that you've got a continual back and forth, so I want it to go continually back and forth. I would not want to attach this to this because then, that just doesn't continue the pattern. So I'd want to continue my green rings and attach it so it's just a continual wavy pattern. Somebody is asking, are these regular rubber bands one can purchase in a craft store? No, 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 no. These are rubber O-rings. These are specifically made for jewelry making. Antelope Beads has the rings that they carry are the best. And I have worked with a lot of these rubber O-rings over the years. And they not only do they come in 16, I think, different colors, the finish is really nice. They don't look cheap. They really, so no, you cannot just get these from Hobby Lobby. There's some other websites that carry these rings. They are not nearly as nice. as the antelope beads ones. So definitely want to use the ones from Antelope Beads. And again, I'm just using the basic 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 millimeter jump rings. Antelope Beads has these in many different finishes. So with this purple one, I could have used gold or an antique brass and gotten a really different look. So there's lots and lots and lots of possibilities with these. So just get some rings, sit down, and just have some fun. And you'll let me know if you need some more specific information on sizing and this type of thing. It's, a lot of it is truly just trial and error. It's just a matter of sort of going through and seeing what works and what doesn't. But these are some real basic weaves, really flexible in terms of the sizing. So, well, okay, thank you so much for your time. I will not be here next week. The week after that, though, we are going to be working with the bridge components. And this is sort of going to put a whole new spin on working with leather and beads together. So I think you'll really enjoy that. So we will see you in a couple of weeks. Don't forget to look for that email on the sale coming up, and also check the website, and we will see you next week. And Pammy is asking, if you call to order, will Antelope Beads be able to advise me if the correct size is? I think we will go ahead and post these projects on the website in the very near future, or else Antelope Beads, Pammy can refer you directly to me and I can tell you what I use. So hopefully that helps. All right, any other questions? If not, thanks again for your time, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.